Hi, I'm Kelly Kearney with Starry Constellation Magazine, and with me today to talk about the latest season of Only Murders in the Building. Please welcome stage and screen actress Caitlin Houlahan. Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Congratulations on joining the wildly popular series. The show is like a New York theater actress's dream, honestly. What was your reaction when you booked it?
I mean, I think I was in just total disbelief. I was a fan of the show before and I had been watching it. And so to get the appointment to even go in for it was exciting in itself. And then to actually get the show, I had to pinch myself multiple times.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is a who's who of New York acting, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, just the cast of characters who are already in it are, these famous theater actors that I've followed for a long time. And then on top of that, new people in the season. Like every time, a new person would show up on the call sheet, I would be like, Mom, oh my gosh, this person's in it now. It was all
Yeah, it's
so
amazing.
exciting. Yeah.
On the show, you play a brand new character, Romy. She's an aide to Keegan-Michael Key's mayor character. How was she described to you? And did she sort of evolve from this script to the screen?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I got the audition, there was a little tiny blurb about her. They said, she's mousy, she's unassuming, she's kind of a little shadow to the mayor, and she really anticipates things. So, she might know the answer to a question before it's even asked. And that, honestly, that's really all I needed to kind of create this character in my head. And at this point, I didn't know that Keegan was going to be the mayor. So, I kind of just created this character in my audition. And then on set, because of the rapport that Keegan and I were able to kind of create, even just from the first day, she evolved in a way that I think I was able to anticipate Keegan's needs.
Mm.
And he also I mean, he's such a brilliant comedic actor that he would throw things my way and I would just kind of have to dodge them, or, physical things and also, comic moments. So there were many things to kind of have to deal with, but I think that she became a little more confident in herself than when I had auditioned. I think I was a little more reserved. So she was more confident and I think extremely observant and just so happy to be in the room, kind of like how I felt being on set.
Right. I mean, you're surrounded by these comedy legends. You're kind of jumping into this, getting your bearings or whatever. And as you go, you become more confident. Seems like, follow the course kind of thing. Season five, is upping the stakes. Not only are we untangling the mystery of Lester's the doorman of the Arconia, his untimely demise, but we're also adding the City Hall and New York mob element to the series, which is so much fun. Where does Romy land in this chaos? And more importantly, how long before she's in over her head?
Well, I think that she's directly in the middle of everything. And I think that's where she prefers to be and where she thrives in kind of all of the chaos. I don't know that I think she understands everything that's going on around her, but she's very good at kind of lowering her head and just doing what is needed to be done. I don't think that she is judgmental of or I don't know that she has a moral compass per se. So I don't think that any of it really bothers her as
Mhm.
long as she's just doing her job, which is aiding the mayor. I think that is
Right.
like the most important thing to her. And I think she thrives in the chaos. And I think the only way that she would be over her head is if she stopped. She's always like, go, 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 go. And if she took a moment to pause, that would be when like the wave would crash over her.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough job being the aide to the mayor of New York City, no matter who it is.
Totally, totally. I mean, I would carry multiple, I would have, the mayor's jacket, and I would have my bag, and I would have his bag, and a camera bag with like a big old camera. And, she was kind of like this multi hyphenate person to him. Just any need that he had, she would fulfill. She
Right.
would have, three phones in her hand and could deal with all of it.
Very Very prepared for a job that perhaps she's below her skill level, it sounds, maybe.
Totally, totally.
Between Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez, plus this A-list roster of guest stars. I mean, we've got Meryl Streep, you've got Renee Zellweger, you've got Christoph Waltz, Taya Leone. The set is like stacked with heavy hitters. What was your first day like when you walked into that world? Were you like buzzing with excitement, or were you feeling intimidated walking into this like high caliber environment?
Always intimidated, but in a really wonderful way, in a way that I think I was just ready to kind of observe and witness what was going on. Like I said, there's just like a lot of pinch me moments. And the first day that I was on set, what was really nice about it was that it had the main trio. So I got to meet them immediately, who made me feel very welcome, very comfortable. And I felt like, okay, I'm supposed to be here and everyone's just being very kind, which was really a wonderful way to walk into it. I met Keegan. We immediately started like chatting, and he is just like the most warm, wonderful, like, will just take everyone in the room and want to have a conversation with everyone. And he is such, he's like such a fanboy of Steve Martin and Marty Short. And so he would ask them things like, hey, when you did this show in, the 70s, what was that like? So he would start these conversations. And I think it just really warmed the room up. It definitely made me feel more comfortable. And I also had these moments where I was like, I can't believe I'm hearing stories right now from the mouths of these, legends.
Right.
So I felt really comfortable being there. And then the first day, they were having Steve do a very physical bit, and they let him just kind of go for about 10 minutes. And, you can hear chuckling behind the scenes because it doesn't matter how long people have worked on the show, it's funny.
Yes.
And that was like a moment of, I'm watching him in person, and then I'm also watching him on a screen, and the learning that was happening in that room, I think not just for me but everyone in there, was like just an unbelievable moment of, I'm watching this legend do this amazingly physical thing at his age,
Right,
which
right.
which I think has honestly kept him so young, that he's been so physical. But it was just, I think, I'm almost like at a loss for words that I got to witness something like that, and that was my first day.
You must have been like a sponge as a younger actress. You're with these legends, these icons of improv, of comedy. And it just comes from them naturally. And every once in a while, you meet a talent like that, whether they've been in the business for a really long time or they're new to it. But you just want to learn from it. You just want to watch it
Yeah,
and see how that happens. It's like magic a little bit.
absolutely. And I think Steve has this amazing ability to not only do comedy and physical comedy and little bits here and there, but he stays within his character and he stays within the storytelling. And
Mhm.
I think that that is like a really unique gift to have, because I think, comedy can be so broad and can kind of go outside the scope of the story that's being told. And he is so experienced at keeping it in this scope and making sure, like, he would even say things like, I don't think that we should do that because this doesn't fit this. He was so vocal about that, and that is something that I really admire, that he can like still stay within what is supposed to be the story at hand. um nothing's done without purpose.
He's like a genius too. So it's
Yes.
it's kind of like him thinking maybe three steps ahead and also what's going on set, and like just kind of witnessing all of that coming together and then creating a scene must have been amazing.
Yeah, exactly, it was unbelievable.
Well, let's talk about Selena because she has continued to evolve in such impressive ways as both musically and as an actress. What was it like working alongside her?
She's so warm and so lovely, and watching her experience the two men is so, it's everything that you would imagine it would be. She really is like supportive of them, but at the same time, like really, like you'll look over and she'll just have like her head in her hands and just shaking her head at
So
something they're
meta.
doing. So exactly. So a lot of the dynamic that you see on the screen really is similar to their dynamic in real life, and they're all so supportive of each other. Steve and Marty are so supportive of her. And in between scenes, she's working. She's putting out music, she's putting out different things online, and so she's constantly like in between scenes working on something else. And like that work ethic I think is just like a phenomenal just aspect to have in life. I think a lot of actors, like we go in, we do our job, and then we sit in the holding room and we chat and we relax. And like she's actually still working, which is just phenomenal. And she's just a really wonderful, sweet person. She wants to do it right when she's
Mhm.
on set. If it's okay, you're going to put these on first and you're going to do this. She has a lot of like busy work to do sometimes on set, and she wants to make sure that it's right. And
Yeah.
I also just really admire that.
And you're a musical theater person. She's in music,
Yes,
so you guys have that connection in music.
absolutely. Yes.
Well, what is something that would surprise fans? Because fans really love the dynamic between those three, and you were talking about how it's so natural for them to kind of have this meta personality. But one of the things that I love about Steve and Marty, because they have such a long history, is how they never stop cracking jokes at each other's expense. Was that sort of a chemistry that was existed off screen and on screen, and it was sometimes hard to tell the difference between the two, the characters and the actors?
Oh, absolutely. Like you totally hit the nail on the head. I remember specifically, they were supposed to, um, the three of them were supposed to walk around the corner, and so they called to action, and as they called action, Marty said something like, "Well, like, the number one isn't here," and everyone's like, starts laughing, and then they start cracking jokes about like the Emmys and nominations and like things that, are so significant to someone like me. And not that they're not significant to them, but they're so used to this at this point that like they are truly cracking jokes at each other and pushing each other's buttons, and it's really for the benefit of everyone else in the room. And the thing is that, a lot of people who have been working there have worked on this for 5 seasons now,
Right.
and they're still laughing. This isn't something that has gotten old to them.
And that's really important when you have talent at this caliber, at this level. You've got Meryl, you've got Marty, you've got Steve. At this level, to make a set feel so fun and welcoming and to kind of take that nervousness away from, guest stars, people that are just joining the cast, it must have felt like, okay, I can now work. I can now do what I came here to do and kind of get those nerves out of me. They've made me feel a part of it.
Absolutely. And I think also too, it makes you feel a lot more comfortable when they mess up and they
Mm.
say a line wrong or they have to go back. And yeah, that made me feel so comfortable, because that's something that I have like this fear of, saying the wrong line and wasting time, wasting film, and so to see them do that and it not be a big deal is really comforting.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there a moment, or maybe anyone in the cast was there anyone in the cast that you had hoped to work with, but for some reason, timing wise, the way the scripts fell, you didn't get an opportunity to work with them?
I think that the obvious answer for me is Meryl Streep.
Who wouldn't
I
want to
didn't,
work with her?
who exactly, but just being in the same show that she is also in, like I'll take it. So that would have been amazing. But I think Christoph Waltz would be like
Mm.
truly the one that I really wanted to work with him more than I did. We were in a scene together, but we didn't have any dialogue, and I'm just a huge fan of his work. And so again, to be in the same room was honestly, it was enough.
It's enough. I mean, we're talking Oscar, Emmy, Golden Globe, everywhere you look. So it's kind of like choose your legend that you're going to watch today.
Yes, exactly. And you almost have to put up, I mean, I think for me, in order to kind of show up and do my job and do the work and not be, geeking out about the people that I'm around, I kind of have to put up my walls and go, okay, we're all in the same room. we're all working from the same script. Like as far as I can tell right now, like we're just all on the same level. And that's how I have to like get through the day.
It
And
helps
then I can go
also
home
It
and
helps
like
also when the stars know their own power walking into a set. I've heard this a lot of times about Meryl Streep, that she knows what her name, her presence does to people. So she like brings that down to make everyone feel a little bit more comfortable. I think that's a really important skill that actors at all of their levels have, that they can make,
yeah.
people just coming in, even if you're just there of the day or you're a new actor, to really sort of remove that the queen is here kind of, behavior. Oh,
Yes.
this is my co-star. That's really important to get great performances, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I felt that way a lot about Renee. I
Mm,
just think you would never uh if you had met her and not known who she was, you wouldn't know that she was the caliber that she is. She's so warm and friendly and lovely and just wants to have, conversation. And, I think we build people up in our heads a lot. And
sure.
so to meet someone in person and to go, oh yeah, you're really just a normal person. It's really it's relaxing and it's comforting and yeah.
It's comforting for sure. Absolutely. Speaking of the cast, we talked a little bit about this. Steve and Marty, they both come from these historic improv backgrounds. We've got the Groundlings, we've got SNL, original cast members. These two can conjure up a laugh literally on the fly about anything, even about each other. As a new member of the cast, did you get to play with any improvisation, or was the script pretty tightly set from the start?
I think that that's a really interesting question because I think that the trio really knows where they can improv and where they can't.
Mm,
And I think coming in as someone kind of from the outside, my goal was to really stick to the script. I felt like my character was someone who maybe didn't get to improv a lot. And that was
mhm.
okay with me. I like having lines, I like having direction and knowing exactly what
Know
I'm
where
going to
you're going.
do, you know? But I will say that there were Keegan made me feel so comfortable around him, and he would kind of throw improv at me.
Because he's great
And
at that too.
he's phenomenal. I mean, really, really phenomenal. It almost would terrify me when he would throw something my way, but then I got a little more comfortable with it. And so there were moments that I was able to just do something, um, very small things. I feel like I was like dipping my like baby toe into the pool of improv, but I was really proud of myself for kind of going out of my comfort zone. But I was trying to leave the improv for the big names.
Big names. Well, without giving too much away, was there a moment when filming that maybe had you completely breaking character with laughing, or was really hard to keep a straight face during it? Don't spoil maybe the content of it, but just talk a little bit around it, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think the very first day, um, when Steve, I've talked about it before, but he was doing his physical bits, and
Yeah.
I think it's in the trailer, but he's climbing on top of something, and it was, I mean, just the things he was coming up with. It was like I had to keep my hands over my mouth, and to stop from giggling or like go behind a wall because luckily I wasn't on camera in that moment, But then there was another moment towards the end of filming where Steve really gets in my face and yelled
Mm,
something, and it was during a rehearsal of it, and I didn't know he was going to do that. I,
mm.
um, I was terrified and also loving it at the same time, and like I can't believe that this is happening right now.
Right, right.
So that was hard to stay in character and keep a straight face in that moment.
It's different. Getting yelled at when you're walking to the subway is one thing. Getting yelled at by Steve Martin is like, please, some more. This is great.
Exactly, exactly.
So, what about a particular episode or maybe even a scene that you're especially proud of and you hope fans pay attention to or really connect with?
Hmm. There's a scene that Keegan and I come to, I believe we're at Oliver's apartment. And we kind of walk in and we do our thing. And And Keegan has this just phenomenal scene that he was just like I said, he was actually just fully on book, and he was basically the only person talking for pages. And
Mm.
he just was like word perfect. It was honestly amazing. And my character leaves, and we just learned some things about my character, and I think that was my favorite scene because it started off with like a little bit of like improv and fun moments, and then I think that there's just a it's a moment to pay attention to for sure.
I can't wait
Yeah.
to see. I can't wait to watch the episodes. It's one of my favorite shows. Absolutely. Only Murders, it thrives in this true crime space. From right now, documentaries, podcasts, online sleuthing. The genre is hugely popular to the point where online sleuths have even solved cases.
Yeah.
Podcasts are top of the charts. Are you a true crime fan? And if you are, why do you think that all of us are so obsessed with it?
Hmm. I definitely am. I think I have been for a while now, and I think I'm kind of getting to a tail end of something where uh things like Only Murders in the Building are really wonderful because they have that comedy aspect to it as well. But I think as a society, we're really interested and kind of obsessed with mystery and things that we don't know, or that what if we were able to find out? And I think like that finding out gives us like just dopamine, or something in our brain is like, yes, that feels amazing that we figured this out together. Or even if it's an unsolved mystery, it's like there's this itch that we can't quite scratch, but like we know when we scratch it, it's going to like feel amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that we love the distraction. We love that there's something going on that we have nothing uh related, we're not related to this in any way, and so we can kind of hold it at arm's length and
Yeah.
still you know go to sleep at night and not think about it.
It's
um
kind of like dissecting the boogeyman a little bit. It
yeah,
kind of takes a little bit of the fear away, be able to hold it at arm's length and be like, what's different about that than me? That's curious. I don't want it to come in my house,
exactly.
but I'm curious about it.
Exactly, yeah, and yeah, it works.
It does. It's funny because the world is dark, and it seems like we find happiness sometimes in the darker sides of the world. But I'm glad shows
Sure.
like this infuse comedy into it because we can't
Yeah.
stay dark all the time.
Exactly. I mean, it's even a show that my mom will watch, and my mom is really sensitive to anything kind of scary or dark or sad. She really loves her Hallmark movies, and she likes to know what happens at the end of things. And but she loves this show because it might have the murder aspect to it, but it's so funny that she's like, I can't stop watching it. She absolutely loves it.
It definitely has something for everyone, absolutely. and
Yeah.
and even if you're not necessarily the kind of person that loves murder mysteries and things like that, it's just good. It's just a good
Yeah.
show. It makes you laugh. You get to see fantastic talent bouncing off of each other. It's a wonder that we're at five. We need five more, I feel
I
like.
know. I know. I mean, the writing is just so fantastic, and yeah, you, it makes you just really want to tune in to know what's going to happen next, especially when each season has kind of been left on a cliffhanger.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, what's next for you? Are there any upcoming projects, film, TV, stage work that we can keep an eye out for?
So, not at the moment. I don't have anything planned, but I'm always, on the search
Reading.
and, reading and in the rooms for it. And so right now I'm just really looking forward to watching the first 3 episodes and kind of seeing what comes from it, if anything.
Things
And
will come from it. Things will come from it. Absolutely. Well, finally, what would you like to say to the fans? Whether they've followed you, they're longtime followers from musical work that you did, Waitress, obviously, or work that you're now getting, or they know you now through Only Murders in the Buildings. What would you like to say to them?
Oh, I would love to say hi, and just that if you're new here, you can always follow my Instagram to see kind of what I'm up to and what's next. But I think for the people who have been following me for a while, this is a different kind of role than I think I've played before. And, I think fans of Waitress know that I really love comedy. I like to say that I live to make people laugh. And so I'm just excited to be in a show where that is something that is encouraged. So it's really exciting. I just think this is a dream show, and I can't believe that I'm part of it. And so hopefully everyone watches and
Oh,
enjoys.
everyone's going to watch it. Everyone's going to love it, and I guarantee there'll be more readings for new roles in the future as soon as your episodes drop.